Welcome to the Ecommerce Marketing Podcast, the highly rated digital marketing podcast that provides weekly digital marketing tips and strategies from some of the world's top digital marketers and e-commerce entrepreneurs that will help you take your digital marketing to the next level. Sit back and enjoy this power-packed episode hosted by Arlen Robinson, who is an e-commerce entrepreneur and digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience. Hey, e-commerce marketing podcast listener. Are you looking to increase traffic and sales to your website? You can do this by launching your own affiliate program. Just visit getosi.com and sign up for a free trial today. That's getosi.com. Now get ready to hear from your e-commerce marketing expert of the week as they drill down to give you details on marketing strategies that can help grow your business.
Welcome back to the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast, everyone. I am your host, Arlen Robinson, and today we have a very special guest, Kenny Gray, who is the founder of Great Media. And Kenny and his team are passionate about helping businesses find their one-of-a-kind message. He's here today to provide some insights on how to create unique, creative strategies that produce effective results to help scale revenues, boost brand awareness, and enhance the user experience while getting the highest ROI. Kenny's ability to be able to utilize Facebook and other social media channels has been proven to scale e-commerce businesses and Shopify stores alike. Welcome to the podcast, Kenny.
Hey, Arlen. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to talk to you because today we're going to be focusing on actually two social media platforms, and that's going to be advertising via TikTok, which is the rage of the town these days, as well as Facebook, because Facebook has kind of been a mainstay advertising platform for a lot of e-commerce businesses, and you're going to kind of help enlighten us on some creative strategies on how businesses can be successful across those platforms. But before we do get into all of that, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your background and how you did get in to what you're doing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like that mouthful of an introduction. We're just kind of passionate about digital marketing in the realm of, connecting brands with users and, finding that, I guess solving those solutions for the users, connecting with the brands, just the whole holistic approach, really. So I guess I got into it. I mean, I had a background in data analytics and basically a little bit of marketing and all that. So then I eventually got a role with NBC Sports, where I worked with the Golf Channel for a little bit, which was really eye-opening, really fun. Worked with a lot of smart people. There's a lot of great things I loved about it. There's a few things that didn't fit for me at the time. So I got to work on the SEO. I got to do the analytics and reporting for some high-level members at NBC Sports. So definitely got to see how they ran the ship compared to some of us who are smaller agencies where you might wear many hats. Maybe at the Golf Channel, they have somebody who just writes maybe headlines, just copy, just clicks buttons, just executes, just project manages, which is awesome. So it was great to see how, a different tier does it compared to, I guess, sort of what we're trying to do right now is I wouldn't say boutique, but we are a little smaller, but that doesn't mean we're not producing large numbers. So after the Golf Channel, I got a role with a smaller agency where I started getting involved in media buying. It really clicked. We were probably working with one of the first keto offers when it was huge about 5 or 6 years ago, having $20,000, $30,000 days selling programs and supplements. That eventually faded like all fad diets do. We kind of got into more e-com clients, and eventually I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn the email. I wanted to learn how to build Shopify stores. I wanted to learn the whole user journey, the whole user experience. And eventually I started freelancing, and now we're here. I was like, well, now I want a team. I want to, teach others. I want to work on bigger brands. I just want to do more and learn more. And that's where we are now. We're working and partnering with a lot of e-com brands, especially on Shopify. Of course, we'll work with people with funnels on like ClickFunnels. We'll do Zipify. Definitely email support. And then our bread and butter is just paid advertising, because at the end of the day, it's a traffic game, and getting quality traffic, getting cheap traffic, and then getting your brand or, our clients' brands in front of people where they're going to be. And like you alluded to, TikTok's where everyone's hanging out now. We thought it was going to fade. It's not like Vine. It's only getting bigger and more popular. They're paying their creators to stay on there. So I don't see it going anywhere right now. And, Facebook and Instagram are just kind of staples. It's almost like an email these days. You almost have to have one.
Yeah.
So even TikTok's growing, Facebook, Instagram, they're not going anywhere. And email's not going anywhere either, interestingly enough.
Yeah, very, very true. I always tell people, every few years we see these blog articles and the bloggers coming out with these articles saying, email is email dead. They're always proposing that question. Is this the end of email marketing? And it's not going anywhere. Yeah,
No.
I think we're just kind of in the next, evolution of email. But I think brands these days really understand the importance of that, of the use of email for, promotion and educating their customers.
Oh, absolutely. Just building that customer list internally where you actually have control and you can get right into their mailbox, or I kind of bucket it into SMS as well, which we've had a ton of success over the past few years. If you cater to your audience and you provide value and what they want, pretty much what they signed up for, you're going to get clicks and most likely conversions as long as you can deliver.
Yeah, exactly. That's really what it comes down to. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing your background. Definitely seems like you have a pretty diverse background, working at the Golf Channel and then kind of going off and then branching out into your own. That's some good stuff. The Golf Channel you had mentioned, I know we're both in the Orlando area, as we mentioned prior to the recording. Is the Golf Channel, are they still based out of Orlando?
I know they made some changes. They may have made their headquarters up in somewhere in like New England now.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So yeah, I like golf. I don't love it. I just keep getting surrounded by it. I worked at plenty of country clubs. I've met a lot of great golfers. It's just, I can't escape it. So I'm still not that great, but it's still fun. It was a great job. It was really fun there. It's just, it's not my main thing.
Right. Exactly. I hear you. I'm a golfer as well. Most people in the Florida area at least try it, because we've got the beautiful weather and the whole, multitude of courses that you can go to, and driving ranges, you name it. If you want to try it, it's not that hard to do. So
what a roller coaster of a sport it is. You could be having a great time, and then 30 minutes later, it's like the worst day of your life. You're like, get me home.
Sounds like me, man. A lot of times I start out good and then I just start to fade, man. So
especially in the heat. I'm like, I don't even realize I'm like sweating so much. I'm getting so tired. But I mean, once you get the hang of it, it becomes more and more fun. And I think that's where like the challenge piece comes. And maybe that's why there's so many business talks going out there. You get to see how somebody reacts under pressure, right?
Exactly. So it's a good test if you're trying to identify a good partner. You get them out on the course in 80, 90 degree heat in here in Orlando and see how they hold up.
Yep. Have a couple spiked Arnold Palmers after about, you get at the turn and then it's a whole different game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's awesome. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, today we're going to be focusing on, Facebook and TikTok and, some specific advertising strategies for each of those. And, the main question that, I hear a lot of these days with not only Facebook, but more specifically with TikTok, brands that are maybe not even on any of those platforms as far as from the advertising standpoint, may have never tried it, but I keep hearing all of this buzz. Their e-commerce, maybe they're direct to consumer, and they're wondering, is advertising on those platforms right for them? And so that's the kind of the first question is it right for all e-commerce businesses?
For all e-commerce, I'm going to lump that together and take a stab at saying yes. It can't hurt, right? Because like I said before, it's all a traffic game. And when we all think about like traditional marketing and advertising, we always discuss how many touch points is it going to take to get somebody to convert. Very rarely, I mean, unless you're selling like, water, are you going to get like one click to, purchase right away? You have to build a little trust. You got to prove why you're better than the others because there's almost competition in every niche these days. So the whole point is with digital advertising is go to where people are spending their time online. For a long time, it was Facebook and Instagram. For a little bit, maybe Snapchat. There's a few others, but really TikTok is just growing its user base. It doesn't seem to be slowing down. And for anyone reluctant, I would definitely encourage you to start going on to TikTok yourself. Make searches as if you were even in Google and things that you're interested in, because there's like different channels, there's different verticals going on in TikTok you don't even know about. Like my fiance is all over plant and like plant TikTok, like how to farm or, grow your flowers great. And then, decorating our home. She's all over it. She can find every channel. There's something there for everyone.
Okay.
And, instead of going through all the Google searches, it's easier just to find users who are just kind of, okay, this is my style. This is what I like. I like this delivery. So there's value all over the place. So I know there's a lot of people saying like maybe the conversions aren't there, but that's the thing. We have to have multiple touch points. So it's like you don't want to just focus on TikTok or just Facebook or just email. You want to be working all of these avenues. And TikTok in particular is a huge brand awareness play. Yeah. You just really need to hone in on your creative. Creative is still king. Nobody wants to watch commercials. You watch cable, that you're going to mute it or you're going to leave the room during the commercials. Take that same mentality, bring it into all of your digital ads. Nobody wants to see something that looks like an ad. You're automatically not going to engage. A lot of these platforms, the first metric they're looking at is like a 3-second video view, because we have 3 seconds to capture their attention, get your message across, either keep you engaged or get you to make act on your call to action. Yeah. So knowing your native content, a lot of people are throwing around user generated content. So one of the things I heard about this the other day was great is like, don't let perfect get in the way of good, because you don't know what's going to work. So it's like, you might spend all this time trying to get all these, trendy edits or, a template that you got off of line. No, sometimes just doing like a selfie video, just having a conversation with your end user, that's gonna, hit a little bit more home rather than, putting together a flyer with all these flair and all these, things that just feel fake or artificial, just not native. So I'm going to say native a lot, because you need to kind of see what platform you're on and you need to match that style. So Facebook's going to be a little different. Instagram's going to be a little different. TikTok, obviously you can't do images, so you need to do video, but do you want like a templated, like clean video that you might see on a YouTube ad? Probably not. You probably want something that looks just like you're watching TikToks, because that's what you're on there for. You're on there to be entertained. So if the style is already matching what you're already on there viewing, then you already have a better chance at a longer view time, more likely to click, or more brand awareness, because we might be engaging with them on TikTok, and ideally we're going to either capture them and from an engagement level from a view or like a page like, or we're going to get them to click over to our website where we have multiple pixels, or we have a sign up for your email, and then we can start nurturing those leads that are coming in. So next time they get on Instagram, now they're getting hit with your ads because they found you on TikTok. And then you can start introducing, different creative angles that, might get them to finally convert. It's going to be different for every brand, obviously. So all e-com brands, if you bucket into all of that, I've seen like air purifiers that go for $800. Let's keep in mind, nobody's going to click and buy an $800 air purifier on a whim. They're going to do some research. That's a huge purchase. But if you have like a $25, $30 shirt that seems pretty unique, there's some good reviews. You could probably get that purchase within 24, 48 hours. So you need to really approach it as the whole holistic approach here of like, what's a likely user journey here to make that purchase. Right. So, level your expectations as well and allow nature to take its course.
Gotcha. Now, speaking of cost, you had mentioned, the cost of certain products that you've seen out there that have TikToks out there. When we're thinking about cost to create a campaign, whether it's TikTok or Facebook, how low or high is the barrier of entry? Is it, are we talking to put advertising out there? What do you really need to do cost wise to get traction on any ad campaign that you create across any of those platforms?
Yeah, so that is always a really tough question, especially when clients are like, how much are we going to spend? It's like, well, what's your budget? Well, we could spend a lot more if we make a lot. Well, it's like, well, no, duh.
Right, right.
So, I mean, I'm still seeing Facebook and Instagram. They're really producing the most actionable steps and better tracking, even though that has been a nightmare for the last year. So, and when you create your first TikTok account, usually they have like a threshold. I think it's around like $50 a day. So, spend it wisely, spend it testing. You're going to get a lot of clicks either way. It's great for traffic and awareness. So those are just little things to keep in mind. Obviously, let the data come in and pivot, because there's always the delayed attribution. So they see your ad and then maybe they act on it like a few days later. They're like, oh yeah, I wanted to get that, so let me go on there. And then you might see your conversions pop up. You get a little bit more data out of it. So if we're looking at everything, I'm still leaning heavy on Facebook and Instagram. There's more people on there. There's a larger demographic who have a higher buying power. So that's something we have to keep in mind too. Like if it's something that's going to go for a younger demographic, then I might shift a little bit more on the TikTok side, maybe some Instagram, but we need to go where we know these people are going to be. So if I'm for example, we're working on like a car product that helps detail your car right now. TikTok, it doesn't do that well. Not comparable to like my keto snack foods over here that are a little bit more woke, if you will. So on Facebook, that's usually the one that seems to be dead, but my 50-year-old males, they're on Facebook. So I'm going to shift it a little bit more on there. So it's not like a one size fits all for all these strategies. You need to, in some cases, the worst thing that I hate saying is sometimes you have to buy some data, take it all in, and then kind of form that story. It's just kind of like, all right, well, we're getting all these impressions on Instagram, but the clicks are like 4 or 5 times more expensive. Or on TikTok, we're getting a ton of clicks and some interest, but no actionable steps. They're not going to look at like any product views. They're not going to add to cart, initiate checkout, or making any purchases. So you have to look at everything in like a full picture. But for shifting, I'm still more Facebook, Instagram for most offers, just because it's a little bit more proven where people are going to convert. And then I definitely have a lot of retargeting set up in Google for AdWords, just to hit all of those markets and when people are doing search queries. And then we're probably dedicating like 20 or 30% on TikTok just to test. And then, like I said, some of the brands, it's like, all right, let's just start shifting all the way to TikTok, because that's where we're getting our name out. And I'm seeing a lot of other brands do that and more. And I can tell that their budget's getting higher. And I'm just like, okay, so people are here more. And brand awareness is just going to be a huge aspect of your strategy. And you're going to get that on TikTok.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned, of course, with TikTok, people that just, have TikTok accounts and are just viewing the content on TikTok, they're there to be entertained. You have these videos, there's usually music in the background behind the videos, and, they're trying to kind of lighten up their day and, see what's on there. And so because people are coming on there from that aspect of it, as a brand, if you're trying to sell, a lot of brands may not necessarily be used to coming up with content and messaging that has more of an entertainment factor to it. And so what are some suggestions as far as the types of content from what you've seen, across whether it is a Facebook video or a TikTok ad that really get the most views and perform the best? Is there any certain types that perform better that you've seen?
Oh, definitely. And this really it's really as simple as just do your research in the platform and you'll start seeing, it's all about trends and there's trending sounds. So start seeing what all these big accounts are doing, not necessarily advertising, but they might be doing a certain like new dance or a song that just goes with, for example, the bullet point thing where just little new pieces of text pop up with a colored background. They just point at it. It's there. It's like, all right, I've seen these before. What are you going to tell? Sometimes they're really funny. Sometimes it's dumb. Sometimes it's, I don't want to touch that subject. But either way, you're just like, all right, I'm in. What do you got? So there's a lot of user generated content. So if you don't really want to work with creators, again, if you still just go with like a selfie style and just talking to the camera, point out the problem, provide the solution. That's the easiest way to break it down. So right now for some of our supplements or even some of our health food snacks, we're doing a lot of recipes because people are on there, like I was saying, like my fiance's on there getting recipes, she's getting plant stuff, she's getting design ideas. And then I can see that in our other friends who are doing that as well. So it's like I'm paying attention to what people are using it for. I'm exploring it myself. So we might be providing all these types of recipes. And then once it looks great and it's that easy, and then you list all of those benefits and it's like, oh yeah, here's the product, here's where you can go get it. So before I even knew it, I'm like, it's an ad. I got it.
So it sounds like it's kind of a mix of using creativity, some little flair to, not really just only entertaining, but actually, educating that person, the possible potential consumer, giving them factual information about a specific problem, then how your brand and your products can solve that problem, but doing it, kind of in a creative or exciting way, like you said, maybe hooking up with one of the trends, using, a very popular sound background or effect that has kind of been shown to catch people's eyes. So it sounds like you got to kind of put all that
absolutely
together.
And I'm almost reluctant to throw around the words like excitement or flair, because it's like because creative is definitely a huge difficult factor in your digital strategy. So it doesn't have to be anything special. You don't have to think you look great on camera, which we hate the way we sound, we hate the way we look. Don't worry, we all think that. So it's just kind of think about who your end user is and then just talk to them. The trends are easy to follow and replicate, but those you have to kind of rotate those in out every 14 days, I would say. So sometimes just having that conversation, getting straight to the point, that might even come across more genuine than trying to, I'm going to do what the cool kids are doing. And then people will see right through that. So again, don't let perfect get in the way of good, because you're going to have multiple angles. You're going to have multiple shots at it. And as you're getting more data in, you're going to see what really works. So you might end up surprising yourself, and it just might be you recording the product, using it, and then people just love it. So that's the tough part. You spend all this money, all this time creating creatives, and then, the one that you really don't think is going to work, it ends up working.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just the kind of the typical rule of thumb with all types of digital marketing is it's a lot of trial and error. You got to try certain things, see if it works. Don't spend a lot of money up front. Don't think you got to have a huge thousands of dollar budget initially, because you don't know if it's going to work. You start small and then kind of see what sticks. So you're just kind of throwing things at the wall, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm trying to explain it to some clients, I'm playing like a game of Minesweeper. I'm clicking over here, see if that works. Okay, that opened up. Let's keep clicking. Let's keep moving in that direction. So we're following the data essentially, no matter what. I mean, at the end of the day, we have a lot of people interjecting with their opinions and like, well, I think this will do well. I think this will do well. It's like, well, when I'm in your account, I'm going to go with what is doing well. So I hate to burst your bubble, but this one over, the static image that just has 5 benefits on it, that one's doing the best. So we're going to roll with that.
Gotcha. That's the bottom line. You got to go with what's performing the best. Then for sure, that's going to dictate.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're just trying to get you, we're trying to get you conversions, whether it's leads or purchases. Let's not get personally attached to it. I just want to get you results, really.
Yeah, definitely. As we get ready to wrap things up, you kind of already mentioned this. There's some examples of some different businesses, either that you've worked with or you're familiar with in general. Are there any particular businesses, that you can maybe highlight that have done some successful ad campaigns across Facebook or TikTok? And are there some specific things that we can learn from?
Yeah, the health and wellness space is always going to be huge, especially with, I think from working from home, everyone's a little bit more honed in. Like people are doing at-home yoga. They're taking fitness a little more serious. I don't know if you've been to the gyms around here recently, but they are packed. It's crazy. Yeah. Everyone's a micro influencer these days, which is fine. We can't hate on health. So we work with a lot of supplements, a lot of health foods, and then a lot of fitness brands and like apparel, because that sector of fitness apparel or athleisure, that's huge. That's growing. It's getting more accepted. So we have at least 2 brands that we've been working with for about 5 years now. At least one of them, we took them from, only doing like 100K a month, which isn't bad at all. He's a big fitness influencer, so he's done his part on engagement, creating content, staying relevant. But we've kind of just planned the work, and we worked the plan of, ad strategy, building up his email list, building up SMS. That is definitely a piece of your campaigns. So I see the value in all the clicks that you're getting and those lists that you're building, making sure we're targeting the right people, and then focusing on that back end. So he's probably doing about 1.5 million in gross revenue on Shopify, and it's gym clothes, hoodies, it's tanks, it's shorts, it's stuff like that. And then we're also using it for a ton of lead gen too. If you're just trying to like build a list, maybe a real estate offer, maybe you're doing like a health quiz of sorts. What was it earlier? This one was kind of a mix, but we were getting leads for people who potentially wanted to buy into a franchise. So that was a weird one, definitely to kind of pick through the people who thought they were applying for a job versus we wanted to find investors. So it's also with like a credit employment, which there are restrictions around. So that's when we kind of had to play around with, and we had to, put in a survey just to pre-qualify these people. But it took time. It took a few months to figure that one out. So it's just kind of, if your first batch that you threw against the wall, nothing sticks, then just kind of rework your offer, see what, might be not hitting, might not be connecting, from going from ad to website. The user experience after the click is going to be really important. So, focus on your website or your offer, your landing page. If you're getting all of those clicks and you're getting tons of engagement, once they get to your offer, something's just not clicking. So don't always think it's just the ads, because you might be getting the traffic. You're just not convincing people once they get there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's a very good point. A lot of times people are so focused on these ads, the messaging, and then forgetting about, what people are doing when they come to the site. So yeah. The conversion optimization is very key. You want to make sure you've got people, you give people a streamlined path to whatever it is you want them to do, whether, like you said, it's the lead gen, right, or whether it's them accepting an offer or promotion that you've got out there for one of your products. So whatever it is, you got to make it clear once they get to your site from these different ads.
Yeah, absolutely. I answered your question a little vaguely, but I don't think there are much of any offers that you can't be successful with on there if you know what you're expecting and you know what you're targeting for. So for audience building, yeah, you can do that perfectly fine. You can set it up where you're going to get tons of engagement and build your audience. Conversions are always a little different, and we have to, really focus on the lifetime value in that user journey. Sometimes you have to build trust. People have to see reviews. People have to see that it's, maybe trendy or, it's in fashion, whatever it might be, until they actually pull the trigger to actually, make that conversion on your offer or your website, whatever it might be.
Definitely. Yeah. So it may not be an instant sale there, instant benefit. You have to look at the whole lifetime, like you said.
Oh yeah. Too many people focusing on that one day click. It's like, I can't, nobody does that.
Oh yeah. You can't do that. Yeah. It's a longer path there for sure. Well, Kenny, that's great. Thank you for sharing all of that, and I appreciate you coming on to the podcast. I definitely learned a lot. And as we see, these platforms, they're not going anywhere. Like you said, TikTok, people thought was going to be kind of fly by night, but it seems like they're going to be around for a little bit longer, I think. So I don't think.
Yeah, they're doing it right, and they have the right people on there creating content. It is entertaining. I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that's awesome. Well, as my audience knows, I always like to close things out with one kind of final closing fun fact question. If you don't mind sharing one closing fun fact about yourself that you think we'd be interested to know.
That one's tough because, it again comes back to your, thinking about yourself here. It's like, that's not that interesting. I'm going to hit you with a few only because we talked about golf. So I did work in a place where I got to hang out with all of like the top European golfers for several years. So if you are into golf, Ian Poulter, Justin Rose, Graham McDowell, all those guys definitely have got the opportunity to, mingle with them in sorts.
Okay.
Other fun fact, I met John Travolta in my hometown, Ocala, because he lives there, the night they were seeing the new Batman. This was probably over 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then 3, I'm going to go with You can tell from my background, I do like skateboarding. I like a lot of sports, definitely a lot of activities. So when I was younger, I definitely wanted to be like a pro skater and all that until I realized there wasn't that much money into it. So it turned into a hobby.
Okay.
And then about 2 years ago, I actually ended up meeting Tony Hawk and Mikey Taylor, two huge skaters that I followed, my whole life. So I don't know if it's so much as a fun fact as more of those were exciting things that has happened to me.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing those. European golfers, John Travolta, and meeting some top pro skaters. It's good stuff. And for those that may not be familiar with that city, Ocala, where you said John Travolta lives, is a city not too far outside of Orlando. I wasn't aware that he lived there. Does he still have a home there?
I believe so. Yeah, they live in a neighborhood where they can fly their jet in and out. It's out in the country. I mean, Ocala is horse capital of the world, so it's just it's a big little city. So it's like there's a lot of money, and then there's just some Florida counties.
Okay, I was wondering. I saw a program about how he could fly right onto his into their neighborhood, his plane, because he does fly. Yeah, I didn't realize that was in Ocala. Good to know. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. But yeah, that's some pretty cool
really
stuff.
Nice guy, by the way. I have nothing. If John Travolta, if you ever listen to this, you were great. Really nice guy.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks again, Kenny, for sharing that. We appreciate you coming on. And lastly, before if any of our listeners want to reach out to you, pick your brain any more about Facebook, TikTok, or any digital marketing strategy, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get in touch with me, you can just go to my website, greatmedia.com. That's GRAYT media.com. I have realized I've had to spell that one out because I did a play on words for my last name and it gets a little confused. So yeah, just greatmedia.com. There's a big red button. You can schedule a call with me and I'd love to chat.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Kenny. And we definitely encourage people to reach out to you and, see how you can help them out. And thank you again for joining us today on the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
All right. Sounds great.
Thank you for listening to the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share it with everyone you know. Are you looking to take your digital marketing to the next level but are tired of weeding through countless YouTube videos with unproven and untrusted marketing strategies? Well, we have the answer for you. The More Sales Every Month online digital marketing course. In this information-packed course, you will learn effective keyword research, link building, content marketing, and much more to attract and convert your site visitors into paying customers. Just go to moresaleseverymonth.com and sign up today for a low one-time fee. In addition to this power-packed course, if you would like to get access to a growing repository of digital marketing articles, PDFs, and ebooks, check out getosi.com/resources and opt in to get full access to our library of priceless marketing information to help you take your digital marketing to the next level.